Hey everybody, here we are again, and continuing on with trying kit beers I've never tried before. Here we have a Brewmaker export bitter. It's okay. So that's the label that came off the can. Obviously seen better days because it's been in the water. So some of the usual rubbish. Add sugar and water to make 40 pints, in brackets 23 litres. It's a 1.5, nearly a 5 kilo kit. Hellfire! That'll be a lot of malt extract. It's a 1.5 kilo kit. So one of the smaller cans. Yeah, right. So Brewmaker essential beer kits contain specially manufactured malt extracts made from the finest malted barley. They are a classic range of 6 beer kits. I think I've done 2. Requiring sugar and water to produce 40 pints. Full instructions under the cap. Chuck them in the bin. So the usual ingredients: barley in bold, malt extract. So it's barley malt extract. Isometricized, I think, hop extract. It's a bit difficult, there's a bend in it. Dried yeast in sachet. Allergy advice, see allergens, see in bold. So it's barley. Presumably, well, you might be allergic to barley. Doubt it. That'll be gluten, I would think. So that's about it for the label. Just under a tenner, I seem to recall. I think they were just under a tenner. Might have been just over a tenner. Put price in the comment, as usual. Comment, whatever, you know, down in the space that we're not looking at. I'll put that below. Right, so I've already done the standard bitter. Now let's have a quick. It's pretty much the same in my book, to be honest. Colour wise, smell and taste, it's not, there's very little difference. So it's a light golden colour. This is supposed to be export bitter. Again, there's that fruity flavour. Sort of average bittering. Not quite a nice bittering actually, to be fair. For the bottom end kit, shall we call them. There's a little bit of a almost, there's something else. I've been drinking this for a while and I haven't noticed that before now. I think there's an almost coconut, when I actually concentrate on it. Yeah, there's a very slight, it's like there's a toffee flavour, but it's like a little bit of a coconut flavour to it. Nowhere near as strong as a Bounty. That's got a sweet coconut flavour, but it's a bounty if you've diluted it in a swimming pool that's not been chlorinated. Yeah, that one didn't go well. Yeah, it's yeah, just a slight. Yeah, sort of a hint of coconut. Yeah, just about there. So after you take there's right up front. I'll try and chronological order of tastes. Try and go for. So right up front, there's a bitterness. Then there's this light toffee maltiness comes in, and then there's a slight coconut. There is a slight to the back end of the toffiness, and the toffiness isn't really pronounced. It's just again slight. There's that coconut flavour, and then it goes into the just the standard beer bittering, bittering, shall we say. It's a nice drinkable beer. I think it's about 4%. I've not got my book with me, but I think the last one came out at just under 4%. I think it was 3.8, 3.9, something like that. The export bitter came out a little bit stronger. Perhaps that's why it's export. At 4%. So, very little in it. We're talking very marginals. Same price. So, choose your kit that you prefer. But it's a reasonable beer. Yeah, that's not bad. It's only got, I'd say, a thin mouthfeel. You can tell it's a bit lacking in the malts, both flavour wise and that thickness, that mouthfeel to the beer. That's what you would call the homebrew taste. That's as far as I can see. When people say, oh, it's got that homebrew taste, it's not really a taste, it's more of a mouthfeel, as far as I can tell. Because you get some people who say, oh yeah, it's got a tinny taste. I've never found that, really. By the time you brewed it, any sort of tinniness has gone out of it. Unless you bottle it and it's got that carbon dioxide, because that, in a tinned beer, a can of beer, is generally the flavour that you're getting, is the carbon dioxide. Not really the taste of the tin, because you don't go with a tin of beans and go, oh yeah, I can tell that they're from a tin because I can taste the tin in the beer. No, you can't. It's bollocks. Digressing. I'm going to stop waffling. Yeah, it's a slightly thin, lacking in body, shall we say. As you can see, the lacing is a bit round the top. It's held, not really held a cap, it's held a ring, shall we say. But cheap and cheerful. If you are on a budget, that will rival it will exceed some pubs, beers in pubs, especially them citrusy, horrid ones. Clear as a bell, and tastes like beer. Smells like sandalwood. Oh no, sorry, that's the moustache. Smells like beer, and it's beer. So it's not going to win any awards, but there again, it's going to be about 25p a pint, something like that. You've got the kit. As I say, it's about a tenner. And then a kilo of sugar. I did swap out the yeast. I use me SO4 yeast, but I reuse that SO4 yeast very slightly. As soon as it starts to slump, as soon as it starts to have a strange gravity reading, too high, too low, on the final gravity, I bin it off, sterilise everything, get a new one. Because that's the first sign. First sign of a dodgy yeast. A dodgy yeast that you're used to using is that the gravity reading changes, final gravity, on something that you know about. I brew wherries a lot of the time. If they vary from 1012 finish by 2 degrees, I'm looking at the yeast and thinking, do I need to bin it off? 2 points, not 2 degrees, no. So if it's 1010, 1014, it generally not when it's higher, 1014, but if it starts dropping lower, if it goes below 1010, yeast is gone. Because I know if it gets that low, there's something wild got in there. Right, I'm going to stop waffling now. I've waffled way too much. I'm going to try and cut that out in the editing. But, yeah, so Brewmaker Export Bitter. Not going to win any awards, but it's okay. Pleasant enough. Like, comment, subscribe. See you next time. Cheers. Bye.